This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. I got to tell you, I'm excited about this for two reasons. One is old school WWF. It's the very first main event. It's from February 5th, 1988. And it is the most watched wrestling program in American television history. Oops. We've got Hulk Hogan. We've got Andre the Giant live on NBC. Man, this is when Dick Ebersol was truly invested in the WWF.
Right.
They went over all this stuff meticulously. Saturday night's main event is well branded, but now instead of coming on late on a Saturday night, it's prime time. It's on a Friday night. And this has millions and millions and millions of wrestling fans watching it. And it's so old school, man. We're going to start this off with, you know, I guess you guys called this, before there was a green screen, you called it something else. What was it back then?
Chroma key.
Yeah, chroma key. There
Right.
you go. So to see this sort of old school presentation, it was such a big part of what we all grew up on. And you remember this angle as being one of the most classic of all time.
I think a lot of people consider it the best angle ever that they've ever done.
Bruce Pritchard agrees. You know, he says it's the best angle in the history of wrestling.
Right.
It really is sort of out of a movie.
Right.
But without further ado, man, let's get into it. We've got 49 minutes of goodness, a much shorter show for us than normal, not intentionally. I just wanted to cover this on the anniversary. Of course, we missed it last week. So this is our opportunity. So without further ado, man, let's get this ball rolling here.
Okay.
You want to give us a countdown?
Is that beep means Lois wants to come into a countdown, but we're not letting her. She can stay on the outside.
You know, I'll be honest. I think that's death knocking at the door, and I don't really want to answer it. I'm going to stave it off a few more days.
Okay. Maybe a few more weeks. Save it off a few more years so I can get as much money out of it as I can.
Well, it was a joke about how it's actually Jimmy Havoc, but continue.
Okay, got it. Ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, play.
How about the Macho Man cutting a promo as only he can? Got his main squeeze there, Miss Elizabeth. And look at the edges of the guys. You can tell this is early green screening. I love the way all of the wrestlers have their own little graphic treatment.
It was great marketing. They were ahead of their time with this stuff.
Absolutely.
With all the marketing.
And there you see the guitar smashed over the Macho Man's head. Very famously, wrestling could have been a lot different here, man. How about Andre the Giant, dude?
Yeah, he was something else, man. I really, you know, I knew Andre. We all knew Andre as fans, as the eighth wonder of the world or whatever it was. But I think the heel Andre was the best version, don't you?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his hands around Hulk Hogan's neck.
Absolutely.
It makes Hogan's neck look tiny, and we know dude's got to be rocking a 20-inch neck.
No,
easy.
Every bit. Yeah.
And there he is.
Wow.
And by the way, notice the belt he's wearing right there. Mm-hmm. Really cool little piece of trivia.
Okay.
He's got on what's commonly referred to as the Hogan 87. It's the same style belt that he wore to the ring against Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. When he comes out for the actual match, though, he will not be wearing that belt. He'll be wearing a different belt. And it'll be the debut of what we know as the best belt ever, the Winged Eagle. As opposed to the non-Winged Eagle. Shout out to Sugar Shane for pointing that out. How about the glow around Hogan, though?
I know. I noticed that, too. It's like he was cut out and stuck in there.
But you know what? It still looked cool, especially for the time. Right. And we're seeing some big highlights here as we get started, branding all the big characters. This is a classic theme, and I just love the presentation of the characters. You could really tell that this is more than just WWF production at the time. This has a lot of NBC's help.
NBC, and every time they would come in and do Saturday night's main event or do the main event, you mentioned Dick Ebersol, he would bring his staff in. It would not only be Dick Ebersol, it would be like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 people come in, and they would script the interviews. Back then, the WWE didn't script the interviews.
Right.
So this was kind of the beginning of scripting wrestling interviews, which I guess is what they do now, right?
Absolutely.
So this is kind of the beginning.
The old Market Square Arena. How iconic was this building back in the day?
Great place, man. Great place. Market Square Arena was an arena that really was right above a road, right above a street, Market Square in downtown Indianapolis. And great wrestling fans. And, man, great time to be a wrestling fan. Love the 80s. God, I love the...
What a classic look here. We got Vinnie Mac on the right, looking svelte, got his hair like a matinee idol, and then on the left, what do you think? Is Jesse the Body doing his best Johnny Carson here? What do you make of this look?
Yeah, that looks like the Karnak.
Exactly. That's
right.
clearly the influence, what he's going for. But
right.
That almost looks like a Klondike Bill-sized butt plug.
It sure does. The Klondike would be more than glad to sit on or throw a lady on top of. You know, props here for Vince McMahon and Jesse the Body Ventura. I thought they were a great broadcast team. I really did.
It came across, Vince played the straight man so great.
Right.
In a classic sort of Bob Costa style. And then Jesse the Body was such an over-the-top character. I mean, he was such a big part of this early programming.
Well, he was an over-the-top character, but he also had a great rap about him. He said entertaining things that you kind of sometimes would agree with, even though he played the heel.
And his voice and delivery, all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was checking a lot of boxes, man.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
That's why when I first got a chance to work with him in the early 90s, I was really, really, well, actually in the late 80s, in 89, when I did my first SummerSlam with him, I was really nervous about it.
I love this classic video. By the way, he's working out here to Jake the Snake's Roberts theme.
Wow.
I just thought this was such a great video, and it's on at NBC. I'll play it a little bit so you can hear it. Okay. But how about that? It's Jake's theme.
How about that?
And hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free